Welcome everybody to the first panel of the day. Today's panel topic is digitalisation in international education industry. Lots to cover here. We're going to be talking about innovative go-to-market strategies and how is technology enhancing student experience. And we've got amazing guests at our panel. I'm going to get to know them one by one, but let's introduce them first of all. And let me start by saying I'm your host for the day. My name is Yasmine Alice. I'm a TV presenter, actress, and a film producer, and you can see me in some of the YouTube videos with Londonist DMC. I really enjoy making those. And first up, we've got Susan Fang, CEO and co-founder of Oxbridge Holdings. Then we've got, excitement, right? We love that. Lucinda Lately, Director of English Test Marketing, PSI Services. Haida Faili, Student Recruitment and Business Development Manager. Welcome. Istituto Marangoni. Am I saying that correctly?
You are indeed.
Not Marangoni, Marangoni. Marangoni, there we go. Then we have Mr. Gökmen Özdemir, founder and CEO of Endless Abroad Education. Mayank Maheshwari, co-founder and COO at University Living. Hello. And we've got Dinara Suleimanova from Londonist DMC, of course, Senior Business Development Manager. Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for giving us your precious times to join this panel. And I would like to kick things off by getting to know each and every one of you, one by one. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your career paths, maybe think about this as like a short bio. Shall we start with you, Susan?
No problem.
The microphone is here.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, wonderful. It's often very interesting to hear your voice coming out from the stereo. Good morning, good afternoon as well. My name is Susan Fang, and as the host kindly introduced, I run my own student agency business, and I've been doing this for the past 21 years. Majority of our students come from China, but now we've gone international as well, and we're very clear our destination is the UK. I love what I do because I feel I'm advocating for students' right and students' experience. Coming from a background as an international student myself more than 30 years ago, I do feel that I'm coming a full circle in what I'm doing, helping younger generations to come to the UK to pursue a new life in education and in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Next up, we've got Lucinda.
Thank you, Yasmin. So I'm Lucinda. I currently work for an awarding body called Skills for English. I started my career in this wonderful industry in about 2010 and worked in language schools for a lot of it until I kind of transgressed to the awarding body side. Absolutely adore what we do. My specialty is business development, where I oversee marketing as well as sales functionalities. Absolutely love it. I've got equal amounts of experience on both sides, so I really like to bring the sales and marketing functions together to see how we can support our student communities out there. I think we're in a beautiful industry where we help people achieve their dreams in life. So really happy to be here. Thank you so much, Londonist, for hosting this.
Thank you, Lucinda. Next up, we've got Mr. Haida Faili.
Hello everyone, my name is Haida. I'm part of Istituto Marangoni. I've been in education for over 7 years. My role is business development at student recruitment, so this is a combination of sales and student care. I'm really pleased to be here with you guys. I want to congratulate Londonists for their milestone as well on behalf of Marangoni. And of course, today I'll try my utmost to give you guys an insight as to how we operate in the education sector. It is interesting because, of course, with the pandemic and how things went, as a fashion school, we are a school where it's very practical, and we had to make some serious adaptations to digitalisation, shall we say. So thank you, and I look forward to sharing some insight.
Thank you. And next up, let's hear from Mr. Gökmen Özdemir.
Hello everyone, this is Gökmen Özdemir. I'm working as a CEO of Panellists Abroad. Panellists Abroad is an agency in Turkey with 25 branches, and we have offices in Azerbaijan and UK also. And I just joined this sector, education industry, almost around 2006. I start journey with my education journey actually to London. And after that, I decided to help the young student as a young person as well. And now, as everybody says, it is great to be here. And it is great to see Londonist achievement as well. Like 10-year celebration is great for all of us. I'm really happy to speak on the stage at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we've got Dinara Suleimanova. I know that you've got a very impressive career. We've done an interview before as well, so let's see what our viewers will think about your career path.
Thanks, Yasmine, for that. Greetings to everyone. I'm Dinara, leading Business Development Department at Londonist. My role involves establishing relationship with international agents, booking platforms, and my role also involves striking relationship with other players in student accommodation market, and also on the board of British Youth Travel Association. Really delightful to have this fantastic panel, and looking forward for the speakers to bring their perspective from booking platform, from institutions, from international agencies.
Thank you, Dinara. And final but not least, Mayank, Maheshwari, could you please tell us a little bit about your career path?
Yes, hi. My name is Mayank Maheshwari. I'm a co-founder and COO of University Living. University Living is a global housing marketplace. We are present in over 250 plus cities all across the globe, and we have over 2 million beds on our platform. So we are on a mission how we can enhance the student living experience till the time they check in at the property. So we have added a lot of value-added services to help students all across the globe. And for my career path, I did my graduation, post-graduation from UK, from Northampton University. And it has originated from our own problem of finding a safe and secure accommodation back from our own country. So we had sort of founded University Living back in 2015. And now we are on the mission of enhancing the experience for the student in finding the safe and secure accommodation all across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I would like to kindly ask from our lovely panel guests to keep the microphones as close as possible so that everyone can watch this and hear this. I have prepared some questions, but if you feel like asking each other any questions, do feel free to chip in. And at the end, if we've got any time left, I will open up the questions to our audience as well. My very first question is going to be for Ms. Susan Fang. All right, so how has international education in the UK adapted to changing trends and demands, especially post-COVID-19?
Thank you, Yasmine, for that. I think I'll answer it in 5 factors, or 5 elements, really. And in addition to saying how UK has adapted to all sorts of changes in demand, I would also like to pinpoint really what is demand side, the student side and the family side are really asking of the UK. Okay, so I'm sort of twisting it a bit. So I think the 5 observations I've made, number 1 is that there is a certain sense of urgency of people from all around the world wanting to come out. And we all know during COVID there was a lockdown, so therefore nobody can go anywhere. Australia, borders were closed. USA had probably one of the worst pandemic after effect. Really, the only English-speaking nation in the whole wide world that's a door open, that was the UK. So I think UK really benefited from that. And the momentum just carried on. Even after everybody opened their door, UK has really embraced this opportunity to welcome more students. I think the urgency is there, and students around the world have spotted that UK is very welcoming. So that's number 1. Number two is we had very fortunate to have a new immigration rule open up. That is 10, 15 years ago, we already originally had it as PSW, post-study work visa, but that got shut down in 2012. And very luckily, the parliament decided to open it back up in the middle of the pandemic. So from last year, July the 1st, up until this year, so we've already come for a whole year cycle. And going forward, any students who completed a degree, a postgraduate degree, and a PhD, they can actually remain in the UK to seek for work. So that has very much encouraged a lot of international students, particularly from the global south, to come to the UK to study. And I think that's something the UK government has done really smartly. So that's number two. Number three is that what I observe from accommodation side, student accommodation, students come, they got to live somewhere, so very important. And in the past, students going into higher education, they would just really live in university-provided accommodation. But I guess during COVID time, many universities decided to outsource that because it's not economical sense to actually maintain it themselves. And what I've found from the demand from the international students, particularly from the Far East, is this. Now they're looking for accommodation with flexible agreement, so just in case another pandemic breaks out, they need to, grab their luggage and go. Or they're looking for somewhere, it's not just a bed to sleep in, but a place that can possibly socialize in, to really cook themselves in, to study and live a life, a safe, secure, and healthy place, just in case if there's another lockdown. So that's really changed the mindset of students, how they seek out accommodation. Okay, the last 4 and 5 are very similar, and they're like mirror images. It's really multi-destination. Students are applying to lots of different places. So although UK has enjoyed the last 3 years really of this upsurge in demand, we also have to be aware that now students are also looking at USA, Australia, and they are making multiple applications at the same time. And then last but not least, because of this issue, I think what we're seeing is UK is really trying to ramp up the post-study work experience to ensure that students can actually stay and have higher employability. And I think that will link it back up to student accommodation, because when we think about student accommodation, we think, oh, it's just for that 3 years or that 1 year master, 3-year degree. But what if the student continue to stay? It's not very easy for them to go into private, to seek a private renter with a few flatmates. So possibly that's a new area where student accommodation providers are linked into. For the young graduate students who are just about to start work or start to work, at least for the first 2 years, get them going. So this is just what I'd like to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My second question I would like to ask to Mr. Mayank Maheshwari, if that's all right with you. The question is, how is technology impacting the delivery of international education, and what are the challenges and opportunities associated with digital transformation? That was a mouthful, but here we go.
So technology is playing a very important role in all the sectors that we know, and especially post-COVID. So especially in education sector, if I talk about from an Indian perspective as well, the counselors, the agents, they were using only the normal Excel sheets. There were very limited CRMs available for them to give proper counseling or to check what the profile student match when they are suggesting which destination they should study. So what we have seen is with technology adoption, there are a lot of SaaS companies, CRMs, that have been adopted by agents, partners in the sector. And with the latest trend of using chat GPTs, AI is making the agent's counselor more powerful with giving the right advice to the students. And especially with AI coming in now, it is making the work of a counselor much more effective and efficient. From the student side of it, Earlier, they were only dependent on that particular agent of how he or she is guiding which course to study, which country to go. But now with ChatGPT, students can do their own research very well. They get more knowledge from the new technologies by using the new systems. And when they are doing that counseling, when they're going for expert advice, then with the help of technology, these agents and counselors being able to match the profile, what the student is looking for. So we have seen that there was a quick adaptation of doing the better student profile than earlier. So and from the India perspective, we have seen that the numbers has gone up drastically in the past couple of years. So it clearly shows that the kind of advantage that the people are getting from all the international places where from tier one, if I take an example from India, so a majority of the students used to travel from metropolitan cities or tier one cities. But now we have seen with digitization, from students from tier 2, tier 3 cities has also got the information. They have now got access to the information, and which is showing the big increase in the numbers. And we have seen now India is surpassing even the China for numbers from students studying overseas. So these are the few good examples that I can quote for how the technology has enhanced this industry. And from the student accommodation side of it as well, we have adopted ChatGPT. So we have launched student accommodation chatgpt.com for the students. So they can get all the required information, and then they can connect to our expert team to get the right advice and choose the right options for them. And similarly, we have also launched Study Abroad Buddy, where a student can do their own research before reaching out to a counselor. So at this time of the era, there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of platforms are available, but it is for the student, it is very important to choose the right platforms and take the informed decisions before moving to a new country or a new city.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayank. It's great to hear that AI or platforms such as technologies such as ChatGPT have been advantageous because usually it is a trigger word and there's a lot of issues with plagiarism or whether if we're relying on technology too much or not. We can discuss more about that later on if you guys want, but I would like to give the spotlight to Mr. Gökmen Özdemir right now with the following question. What are some innovative practices driving the sector forward in the digital space? Let's talk about that.
Of course, okay. And
a little bit closer with the microphone, please. Thank you.
And actually, when we consider about like international education, definitely just it is really curious about the diversity of the players. I'm an education agent, and also there are lots of institutions, and also there are lots of other players as well. Like, for example, now we are in the Londonist event, and accommodation provider, even exams providers, and even, for example, like smart boards, and even like all materials as well, like in education industry. That's why in such a this kind of landscape, and we have to definitely think they should embrace their technological advancement, and also it is really important. It should be actionable as well, and also it should be they need to make actually usability also, because sometimes you are creating some technologies and maybe it's taken so much time, and after then the time is passing and the technology is changing and the needs is changing, and end of the scenario and maybe the last user are not able to use it. That's why with this kind of players needs to definitely focus on educational technology side. As I already said, lots of edtech companies, almost like 3-4 edtech companies. This is the actionable, and so just the usability is so important according to me. If I go back to, for example, educational institutions, and we can say easily, definitely like AI and AR technologies, and still now, even now, just they are still using in the classrooms as well, and also just the digital learning materials, digital learning technologies, and all institutions integration, the all digital learning models, and enable the student access to their course materials, and even also the virtual classroom is so important at the moment, just before the COVID, as you know that, and so for example, according to my side, and just I create one system which is event technologies, like online events, and I founded this company around like 2016, but just we wait almost like till COVID, and to give this kind of opportunity to all over the world. And now, definitely, if we talk about like education side, my side, according to me, just still the CRM systems and APIs is still really, really important, because we are not on the right level, according to me. If always I'm comparing my industry and my side with the tourism industry, and so just they are really far ahead from us, especially to reach the data and the data-driven side, and so they are reaching every single information, every single pricing, and so just it is easy to explain, and also it is easy to give the right information to the student on the right time. And if you are not able to, if you don't have this kind of information on the right time, so just we are not still giving the right information on the right time to the student, according to me. That's why just the CRMs and the APIs is going to be a significant role in the international education industry. But on our side and on all sides as well, according to me, AR and AI, now he told as well, like ChatGPT even, he's going to match the ChatGPT and this kind of AI tools is going to match all the information with our own systems. And so maybe the counselor's effect is going to be a little bit less in the features also, because just we're going to give definitely the right information, not just as a written and the real avatar, maybe the real human, and so just with the voice as well, and you're going to ask directly, and on the screen you're going to get your answer from like a real human. And that's why, according to me, on overall and for all kind of players, the significant roles, according to me, is going to be like AI and AR, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Mr. Özdemir, thank you so much for that answer. Even I'm curious now to learn more about AR and augmented reality and whatnot. Let's move the spotlight to Ms. Lucinda Lately, if that's all right with you. And I was wondering if you can provide us with some examples of successful go-to-market strategies that have led to significant business growth.
Okay, that's a big question, isn't it? And I think it's worth bearing in mind in this audience that my expertise lies in the B2B2C market, so what I was talking about is very relevant to that. there's never been a more exciting time to go to market than right now. And even though it's a highly competitive world out there, what now puts us apart or sets us apart from the competitors is how we are speaking to those people we want to target. And what we've also learned, or what I've learned through lots of trialing, is that nowadays everyone wants everything personalized. So where I will start is saying that when you're going to go to market, know where you're going to go to market. Make sure you've done the research, and of course you can find this anywhere. Make sure you know where's the emerging trends, the emerging markets, in our case, where students are coming from. Once you've established these markets, know them intimately. You need to really, really understand your market. There's really good AI-powered software out there called, there's one called Net-Based Quid, which actually goes into the market you are thinking of going into, and it comes back with the social media conversations that's going on around your product, the key stakeholders in that market, the competitors, how the competitors are marketing. So it really, really comes back with really juicy, useful information. So what do we do with that information? Now we have this. We now I switch into ABM, which is account-based marketing. I go after these individuals. That sounds hectic, doesn't it? I'm going after them. I go after these people on LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, through whatever platforms I can find them. But with the information I have, I know the titles these people have in their company: COO, CEO, Business Development Manager, Marketing Manager, and I target them specific to the position they hold. The messaging in my social media, you can actually specifically target people on LinkedIn now based on the role they play and based on the company they work with. So you can say, hey, John, I know you're the CEO of X agency. We have a product that will really suit your needs. What we do with that, one step further, is create, using ChatGPT a lot, using the company's collateral that we can find, and asking ChatGPT to create personalized social media posts in the brand voice of that company selling your product. I then co-brand and co-develop with my team social media assets, digital assets, blog posts about my product, how it will suit company X, co-brand them, write the strategy, and when I approach them and ask them to work for us, I send them these documentations at the very beginning. So before I even start a conversation, I've said to them how they can market my product, how they can make money from it, where they will find their business from. This has been highly successful. What this has meant for me is less money spent on scatter approach marketing. We all want the world, we do, but we can get it with less people, more focused and targeted, and less revenue spent in places where it goes nowhere in a big black hole. So I hope that is some points that you guys can actually go and use out there. Happy to discuss some of them later on with you face to face. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Lucinda, wow, thank you so much for the insightful speech. I feel educated right now. Dinara, if you don't mind picking up the microphone, let's have a chat with you. Obviously, we're talking about technology, but we're all here for Londonist DMC's 10-year anniversary, so let's talk a little bit about accommodation. My question to you is, what are some examples of successful implementations of technology in student accommodation that have positively impacted the student experience?
Thanks for this question. I will start saying that, first of all, in the current climate, technology is shaping the future of our industry. And post-COVID showed increased appetite for instant bookings, digital preferences. And as Susan Fang mentioned today, we are interested to facilitate young travelers to come to UK, and we need to make sure that students are looking not only for accommodation, but student-related services, and how can we improve that? And we come up with a technological solution of a self-serve platform to help students access accommodation, see invoices in real time, and also access the best deals in the market. Our student portal, the application that we are currently developing, helps students to have one-stop shop and access reservations of the brands they like. not only student accommodation, but also travel trade, how they can book best London attractions. We partnered with one of the train ticketing company and managed to bring one of the best fares for train tickets in the market. And another solution that we are bringing to our B2B partners is Agent Portal. In the industry, we always ask a question whether we are booking platform, whether we are international agents, a service provider. We are asking a question, how can we streamline all communication? How can we help each other, and especially international agents, to address the gaps in the market, to address the issues and help international students to come to UK? So with the help of our agent portal, we centralize all communications. We have extensive in-house data of agencies, and that helps to streamline all processes. On the other hand, thinking about sustainability, which is currently a quite important topic, and how can we reduce footprint, another application that can be a successful example here, going back to your question, is virtual reality. How can we help our students to view residences from the comfort of their homes? So we partnered with ISEV to bring a virtual reality technological solution of our Spitalfields residence. We managed to bring this to our partners, and here we have one of our speakers, Marangoni, Istituto Marangoni, Haidar, who managed successfully place students to Spitalfields residents based on this virtual reality. Just a few insights on this technological solution. It has a multi-layered, clickable solution, and students have drag and drop option where they can see essential student packs in the room. They have 360 views of the room, and this gives them power over their booking experience. They can make a more informed decision using this technology. So overall, really great to power these meaningful conversations on technology, and I'm sure other speakers can contribute also to my question.
Dinara, thank you so much. I remember back in year 2008, having just been accepted to university in England and waiting weeks and weeks for that prospectus to arrive and to be like, okay, which accommodation am I going to use? Or even when we chose, like, it wasn't guaranteed. I didn't know what it looked like. We did have emails back and forth with university, but I was just so lost, and I will have to repeat this again. I wish I was a student when Londonist DMC existed, and the accommodations are absolutely beautiful, and the kind of service that you guys provide is so good. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a personal experience from me. And yeah, next question, without me talking too much, I'd like to ask to Mr. Haydar Faili. Okay, so this is a big question. Let's start off with speaking about how can technology be used to maximize the student learning experience, and maybe then you can also talk about the ways in which technology can improve student engagement and make learning more effective. And then finally you can also talk about what is the university's perspective on this.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so there's no denying that technology has always been in education. Many institutions at the forefront offer e-learning platforms. So I think from our perspective, we've had to adapt the way we operate as a school, purely because as a fashion school, we generally have to be practical all the time. We have machines that we need to use, and students are actively draping, fitting. So when the pandemic came, it obviously had to change the way we operate. So this meant that we had to invest in our infrastructure, so more digital softwares. And like that, we're able to save students, because I'm sure many institutions suffered due to the pandemic, and they had to shut down or they had to merge. So from our perspective, we had to invest in these softwares to enable students to be able to perform to their best capabilities. So this meant that we had to move from doing, say, open days to virtual open days. And through the virtual open day processes, we had to do digital prospectuses. And like that, I can say, you know, post-pandemic, we're actually doing more virtual open days than actual open days. So it's sort of changed the culture in the way we reach out globally to our prospective students. And of course, it's not just the students. We have to also think about the program leaders. You know, there are the students, the program leaders, the parents. There are many individuals, shall we say, involved in these initiatives where we have to try to allow the students to go on virtual libraries, so they're able to use virtual libraries and virtual spaces to communicate with other disciplines, from fashion business, for example, to styling and interior design students. So we've had to enable the opportunity to have more virtual meetings so that ideas are shared, and of course, students are able to, you know, deliver their work to their best capabilities. So I think at the moment we are working with AI at the moment, and I think the future needs to be more around data analytics, learning analytics, to allow us to kick on for the next era in education. So yeah.
Hey there, thank you so much. I mean, you mentioned virtual open day. And again, I'm going to go from personal experience. Many moons ago, me and my parents had to literally buy tickets, book flights, rent a car, go to a country that we've never been to before. England was our first time as a family, and go and visit the university and make a decision as to which university I was going to go to. I don't think I was blessed, but not everyone can actually afford to do that. And I think open virtual days, virtual open days, is so helpful. I mean, it's insane for international students especially. So that's the first time I'm hearing of it, so that made me super excited. Maybe you can also answer this. What role do digital marketing and social media play in reaching those international students from other parts of the globe?
Absolutely. So I think general user content is the key way forward. I think we've had to change the way we communicate with the new generation. This means that we've had to liaise with influencers, with TikTok, Instagram, and all these platforms where, you know, we try to catch the eye of individuals through some success stories. So we use our alumni, we create dedicated events with our alumni so that they're able to showcase their experiences, talk about how life was as an international student in the UK. Because as you can imagine, and I'm sure many of my colleagues can agree, many students that do come from abroad do tend to get homesick. So, you know, we try to show students that, you know, this is a valuable experience that they gain from from coming to the UK, from staying back with the post-grad work visa opportunities. I think the GUC is the way forward.
Thank you, Hader. I've got another question kind of related to this, so perhaps you can answer it, or any other volunteers from our panel guests. I want to talk about whether if virtual events have impacted student engagement. Are students less likely to attend because it's virtual, because it's online, or are they more likely to?
I can answer that, actually. To be honest, we've seen better conversion through virtual open days than actual open days physical. More attendees virtually rather than in person, which is weird because I'm kind of old school. I like to actually come and see and feel the place. I think it's been a positive influence. And, you know, I think it brings many people globally to one space, see what the program leaders have to show. what the admissions team have to say in terms of the requirements. And I think it's easy to interact in a live space virtually from your bedroom. So I think it's about convenience. And I think the new generation looks at convenience more than ever now, as opposed to I say myself, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay, so I would like to open this topic up for the panel guests, so up for debate, whether if there's any ethical considerations of increasing reliance on technology in international students. What are your thoughts? Anyone who would like to volunteer to answer this? Yes.
Okay. It's difficult because I think in the space we are at the moment, we are seeing there's still some gaps and loops where things are coming through and that may be unethical, but I can see that being overcome and in future actually just enhancing the whole experience. So everything has its ethical and its unethical, right? Social media has the same and it's been around for years. So, but it is getting better and you can see these loopholes being closed on a regular basis. I read in the news anyway.
Any other thoughts? Susan? Yes.
I would like to second Lucinda's comment here. I think digitalisation is the way forward. There's no going back now. Right now we're in periods of contraction. So when something so brand new coming out, everybody's learning. You're learning today, and tomorrow it might be made redundant. Obviously, there will be something that falls through the loophole. But in the long term, it's all for the better. So I think we have to stick to it. And then at the end of the day, we have to remember technology is something that man-made. Man-made technology so that technology can actually be used for us. Technology did not make man. So I think our future generation will understand the whole point of this and realize if they want to learn, if they want to grow, they want to upskill and become a better person, they need to be on top of these technology rather than being ruled by them. Thank you.
What was the quote? Man made the technology. Technology does not make the man. This should be on a T-shirt as a quote. I love that.
Should we do that?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about diversity. This is a big topic at the moment. Who would like to give their thoughts on this particular question? How can institutions ensure that their digital tools can cater to a diverse range of students? We're talking about different backgrounds, different ethnicities, languages, but also abilities.
I'll give a quick and then pause on. Like I mentioned before with the personalization in digital media or assets, it adapts. It knows where the student are. It knows what they search. It knows what they do in their free time. It really adapts and cater to that audience. I've also recently worked on a piece with someone where digitalization of course content is actually now adapted to the user. So it's not served in the same pages, the same learning methodology to every student, but it actually adapts to that student's learning style because we all learn in different ways. So I think that answers the question, right? It's so versatile.
Yeah, so to add to it, I think with digitization and different diversity and ethics, initially, there are few countries who adapt really fast, and the users get to adapt the new technology in a fast way. Whereas in some countries it takes time, and when it becomes trend and people are we see the majority of the users are or the students are being now adapted to new platforms, then it becomes these things become viral, and we can't we need to always see that technology is helping to be more efficient, more faster. And yes, there always been pros and cons for whatever the new technology comes in society. But as the trend and the analysis says, the majority is giving benefits to that level where now we see that somebody is sitting, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 kilometers away, and they're making the informed decisions. They're able to see. If I talk about the student accommodation, like Dinara said about the virtual reality, earlier it used to be student needs to travel and see physically where they're committing, but with the help of technology, you don't need to travel. So every country has been now adapting the latest technology in a very fast-paced environment.
Thank you.
I would like also to add on the subject of diversity. In the industry, we always ask questions. How can we integrate international students with domestic students? How can we create a community where students have access to all information they need? And currently, the information is scattered all around websites, and international students sometimes feel lost. But if there is a self-serve platform, digital solution that helps students access local offerings, events that are happening, that will greatly facilitate the community and make sure that we make international education in UK attractive worldwide.
Thank you, Dinara. If there's no one else making a comment on this particular question, since we're talking about digitalization in education industry, we have to talk a little bit more about ChatGPT. This is the whole social media, everybody in the world is now talking about ChatGPT. What should we be wary of in the education system with the use of ChatGPT? Because let's face it, we've got plagiarism. Shall we talk about laziness? How can we combat this in an efficient manner in the education world?
Actually, the ChatGPT is recently just came into the market, according to me. And so the ChatGPT is now, everybody is thinking is helping a lot, but just you are finding everything on the ChatGPT and you are asking everything and just you are seeing all the results. And it is, of course, just it's going to be affect the educational side. Even right now in the master degree and the undergraduate degree, people are preparing all the documents, all the homeworks from the ChatGPT as well. Still like a Turnitin, and they are checking, the teachers are asking on the ChatGPT, did you write this or not? And still this kind of things happening. And but in the future for the education industry, this kind of AI, I think, is not going to be harm for the education side. It's going to be so helpful to learn a little bit quick. And as my friend told, like sometimes it needs time, but this kind of technologies is easy, is helping a lot to reach, to, as you say, like a diversity and lots of students easily because they are understanding what we are trying to explain. In education side, according to me, even in Turkey, for example, and still I'm believing just we are not 100% explaining what we are providing. Because just we have lots of opportunities all around the world, and just we should know everything very clear, and we should explain. And but just the industry awareness is so important also. But this kind of, especially this is kind of like ChatGPT means AI, and the AI is going to be so helpful for educational industry, according to me.
Thank you so much. Yes, or perhaps you would like to answer also this question as well, Susan, because I wanted to ask you this. For example, a student has a dissertation to hand in. They go to ChatGPT and they say, write me an essay which is, I don't know, 40 pages long about XYZ topic. How do we combat this?
Well, you will be surprised. A lot of university institutions also have the technology to actually cross-check how what is the percentage of the work is actually done by machine rather than human. I mean, plagiarism has been around for ages here, for eons. You know, same old. Now it's just using technology to do it. There are always going to be people who want to, let's say, test the regulation. You know, find a loophole. That's always going to happen, and then there will be ways to combat that. But going back to this ChatGPT thing, knowing that, I think until now, all the information is still on update until 2021. It hasn't been updated further. So I do have a question is, if you ask question anything beyond 2021, would ChatGPT actually answer you? Or would it just make it up? Because I did try, and then it gave me, Trump is still president of the US, that sort of thing. And I thought, okay, I know that's not a fact. So ChatGPT has actually provided a very good opportunity for people in the education industry to, especially higher ed, to really re-question what is education about? Is it about the conveyors of knowledge? Is it just a one-way thing, trying to transfer the knowledge from teacher, from institution to students? What if we should turn it the other way around and make it to enhance the students' independence, autonomy? ChatGPT should be used to help students to actually ask the right questions. Because this is a very disruptive way. And for them to think, now that we hold all the information in the world, how do we gather them together and actually raise the right profile and question to actually get to the solution in the end? So maybe it's just a flip of the mindset. I think it's a good thing. What do you think?
I'm loving this debate. Right, so everybody's agreeing. And perhaps, Lucinda, we can talk to you a little bit from the business-to-business aspect of things. What does the future hold in technological advancements and digitalization?
I think, and I keep going on about this, it's the personalization of the digitalization that we live in, right? So we can really, really talk to a specific individual, a key stakeholder, decision maker, and the way we can communicate with them is just going to keep on improving. So I think from the business development point of view, it's the relationship management side of it that I'm really excited about. The fact that I can actually really know my target audience inside out. The decisions I make then based on that, whether digitally or offline, is so much more focused and ideal.
Thank you so much. Okay, I have one final question before I'm going to let the audience perhaps have a go at asking questions. Dinara, would you be able to give us a sneak peek as to what we can expect? What kind of technological developments can we see in the future from Londonist DMC? Any new softwares up and coming?
Sure, Yasmine. There are quite a few applications we are working on at the moment, and we are quite proud of. One of them is obviously our partner portal, where we will give access to all our agents and make sure we centralize the communication. Ambassador app is another way to facilitate communications between the students and create a community, and also give them some employability skills. Our student portal, we put a lot of work. There's a lot of work put behind the scenes, and team is really working hard. We already roll out it to the market, and we have very tangible results. A lot is happening as well with virtual reality. We are planning to have more buildings featured, some of the new providers, and with the help of these virtual reality tours, we hope to assist students to view the properties in advance. So there are quite a few, but the future is bright, and there are a lot of developments on the horizon.
Thank you, Dinara. The future is bright. I love that. All right, so I would like to hand the microphone to anyone from our guests, if you have got any burning questions that you would like to know from our wonderful panel. And if not, you can raise your hand if so. If not, whether if any one of our guests would like to ask each other any questions. No? One question from Mr. Good. Okay. Yeah, all right. I think it's 1 p.m. Past 1 p.m. I think we're all hungry for lunch. So I would like to thank you all so much for attending this panel and giving us your precious time. Thank you so much.